How does a man go from being tortured and exiled to shaping the way we think about power, leadership, and success centuries later? This is the story of Niccolò Machiavelli, a man whose struggles didn't break him, but made him immortal through his ideas. This is how he turned failure into a legacy, and along the way, we'll uncover his timeless lessons about power, resilience, and ambition. Niccolò Machiavelli was born in Florence in 1469, a city as beautiful as it was dangerous, a hub of art, ambition, and endless political intrigue. By his early 30s, he had risen to prominence, working as a diplomat and advisor for the Florentine Republic. He negotiated with kings and popes, learning firsthand the ruthless nature of power. But everything changed in 1512 when the powerful Medici family returned to rule Florence. Machiavelli, who had served the previous government, was accused of conspiracy. He was arrested, tortured, and exiled to a small farm outside the city. It was a crushing fall for a man who had been at the heart of politics. Yet, instead of surrendering to despair, Machiavelli used his exile to reflect on power, human nature, and the art of leadership. During this period of isolation, he wrote The Prince, a guide for rulers that would change the world forever. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. Fortune favors the bold. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. The ends justify the means. A prince must imitate the fox and the lion, for the lion cannot defend himself against traps, and the fox cannot defend himself against wolves. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. Politics have no relation to morals. Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. The new ruler must determine all the injuries that he will need to inflict. He must inflict them once and for all. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. He who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Hatred is gained as much by good works as by evil. Severities should be dealt out all at once, so that their suddenness may give less offense. A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promise. He who builds on the people builds on mud. If someone hurts you badly, don't take revenge. Just do this. Live well and let your success be your revenge. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. He who has relied least on fortune is established the strongest. The more sand has escaped from the hourglass of our life, the clearer we should see through it. The wise man does at once what the fool does at last. one should never fall in the belief that you can find someone to pick you up. Even in the darkest moments, greatness can emerge. Never was anything great achieved without danger. The man who adapts his course to the times prospers, and likewise the man who sets his course without regard to the times is ruined. God is not willing to do everything, and thus take away our free will and that share of glory which belongs to us. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. One change always leaves the way open for the establishment of others. It is not power that corrupts, but fear. There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. The unarmed man is not just defenseless, he is contemptible. Tardiness often robs us of opportunity and the dispatch of our forces. A wise ruler ought never to keep faith when by doing so it would be against his interests. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar. War cannot be avoided, it can only be deferred to the advantage of others. The greatest danger of all is to act precipitately without knowing the worst. Machiavelli's journey from struggle to success teaches us that resilience, strategy, and understanding human nature are the keys to overcoming adversity.